cold as hell out here. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Alex, aka Paradox, aka Docs. How we doing out there? Doing good, hopefully. See me, I'm in a hoodie right now. We had a little storm yesterday and the temperature dropped like 20 degrees. Right now it's 65, and I know most people like 65 isn't even cold, but when you've been used to 90 some degrees and a day and a half ago you was inside the pool chilling, 65 degrees kind of does feel cool. But you know what? I'm not even complaining like that because I do like hoodie weather. It is officially fall in the Houston area, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know what I've been up to since the last video. As you know, last video I dropped my software as a service, CareerHound.ai, and I've still just been working on that, making little iterations on it. You know, just kind of little tweaks here and there. And I guess that's the reason for this video is, you know, something that I've noticed is you just got to build stuff sometimes. You just got to launch and build. And I had been hearing that for years and years, and I was just like, yeah. But really the lessons that you gain from actually launching something and building it, like for the public to use, it's quite different than just being somebody who does tutorials. Like I used to do a lot of that, tutorials, and then you just add a portfolio project or something. You know, it's totally different when you've actually got real users using your app. So just a lot of valuable insight I've been getting from building and deploying and trying to promote my own application. You know, I had some issue that I never would have even really noticed that came up this weekend, matter of fact. A couple users let me know. They were like, yeah, you know, your site, the colors and all that look pretty crazy and it's hard to see stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I checked the site out a bunch. It looks perfectly fine. It's a clean theme. And long story short, what ended up being the case was these people had their browser on like the dark theme or dark mode or night mode or something to that effect. And basically, so my CareerHound.ai, the whole site, the theme is like a light colored white theme, bright colors, right? On dark mode though, all that turns to black, and then some of the other colors that I use turn into way darker colors that when you switch it to like this dark theme, they definitely did not go together, and the usability factor was just absolutely horrendous. So, you know, once I had some users tell me that, and then I actually checked that out this weekend, put my own browser into that dark theme, and I saw, oh, wow, yeah, this does look crazy. So this is what some users are seeing. And I wouldn't have known that because I'm not someone who ever personally uses the dark theme on a browser or ever puts their phone into night mode. So I had no idea about that. So, you know, just from that user feedback, you know, getting that, I was able to then take that and go and make adjustments to that. So at least now, you know, if somebody's got the dark theme on, it doesn't look crazy like it did. So again, it's just one of those things. If you were just building something as a personal project for yourself, you're probably not going to run across that. Or if you get a couple of friends to check out your site or whatever, you know, friends sometimes don't want to give you criticism, and they'll just be like, oh, yeah, it looks cool and everything. It looks fine. And, you know, no real constructive feedback. So, again, that's one of the important lessons I've been seeing about actually building and launching something. So, launching CareerHound.ai, you know, it would definitely be cool if that went viral. But again, the insights I'm getting from just dropping that application right there is worth it. Excuse me. Other than that, you know, there's other stuff you know, other gems you kind of get out of launching something too. Not just even stuff like that. You get things like lessons learned on how to market stuff. Like, so sometimes I'll promote my application on my Twitter. I'll do hashtag build in public, hashtag SaaS and all that. And every now and then get a couple of retweets, or, you know, sometimes that'll mean I go to like certain subreddits or whatever Reddit threads with the job market and try to find a slick way to insert careerhound.ai and even stuff like that, that kind of interacting with certain communities and whatnot. That's a real good way to get eyes on your applications and at least get some users. You can have all the technical know-how in the world, but the marketing side it's a different thing, and it's a good thing to try to develop that skill. So it's been a learning process for me on that. I'm still not doing good at that, but I am learning, slowly but surely. So yeah, it's just one of those things. You got to get out there and do it. I don't know if any of you guys, are into sports or whatnot, but if you're somebody who plays basketball, you can do all the drills, all the free throws in practice and whatnot, but it's still not going to be the same as when you actually get into a game and game speed and doing it against real opponents. You got to get those real world reps in. So with launching CareerHound, that's what I've done, is get those real world reps in. Also kind of shows me too who's really supporting. I will say that. There's a lot of people that, I told about the application and not really supported. I'll tell them about the application. I can tell they maybe checked out the landing page, but they never, created an account, signed up, signed in, tried even to make a fake, test job or something like that to just try the application out. So that's something that I always keep track of too. I'm big on reciprocation in life. So I keep a track of who reciprocates. So if I see somebody doesn't support, I make a mental note of that. Okay, you didn't support when I asked you. So, when they do something, they expect support. Call it petty, call it what you want. But I'm like, nah, you wasn't trying to support me when I asked you to check out my application. You can even make a free account on my free software as a service and just make one little test job and just to see if it works or something. So that's something I like to know too. I like to know where people stand, who really supports. And also, that's a two-way street as well. It's good when I see people that I didn't even tell them to support CareerHound like that, but I see that they signed up, they signed in, created some fake jobs, they gave some feedback like, hey, I like your software as a service, but this, I noticed that. That's always very appreciated, and I'm appreciative of people that do that. So when I see people that do that, on that same token, I'm like, this person looked out when I was trying to launch my software as a service. So I know in the future too, if they do something and there's some way I could support, I'm going to do my best to support them as well. So again, it's good to know where you stand with people. I think I tried to get my own mom to even, use my site and whatnot. She still hasn't created an account. So I don't know. I might gotta watch her a little bit closely. She might be the ops. I don't know. But no, on a serious note though, really I just been making, tweaks here and there to careerhound.ai. One or two things will pop up, or I'll see some things that I can kind of improve. Other than that, I still just been on my C#.net grind when I'm not doing SaaS stuff and trying to get that, pushed out. I did come up with another idea for a SaaS service, so I'm not going to tell you guys what it is right now, but I will say I did get some good advice probably a month ago from the homie Symbol. He did tell me, hey, you should go ahead and just create your own boilerplate up front, because that will help you out when you go to build your own apps. And so that's something I did about a month ago, was make my own Next.js 15 boilerplate. Took probably about a weekend and a few more days on top of that to get it how I wanted. But, I definitely see the value with having done that, because probably about a week and a half ago, I had a new idea for an application. And because I put that time in on creating just a basic boilerplate for me that can get something, up and running, and I understand all the parts of it, it made it real easy to just use my own boilerplate and then get started creating the actual idea I have for the application, and just iterating on that. So I actually got I guess I would call it like an MVP of whatever my second idea is, and it somewhat works. I mean, it more or less works. It still needs to be refined and whatnot, but because I made that boilerplate, having that second idea come into my head, I was able to literally get the application in a basic working state in a day, maybe 2 days tops, something like that. So that was some good advice I received, was to make your own boilerplate, and that definitely was worth it. So, but yeah, other than that, I know they got Afrotech going on this week in Houston. Still kind of thinking about checking it out, but those tickets they're not cheap. They're like $600 for a ticket. And for me, I live an hour away from Houston. So Afrotech, I guess, is going on Monday through Friday. And it's essentially goes from like 9 to 5:30 for like the main conference stuff. Then they have like after party kind of things or after events that go until, I want to say, about 8:30 or something like that. So for me, I'm not sure if I already work from 9 to 5, I wouldn't be able to get there before 6 o'clock with traffic. I don't know if it makes sense for me to just spend $600 on a ticket to go down there for a few more days. But then again, they do say sometimes you have to invest in yourself, because there could be potential big connections that you make networking with like-minded individuals. So Afrotech is one of those things I'm kind of still thinking about. I've only got a couple days left at this point, I realize, so probably not going to happen. But if I do decide to go to Afrotech, best believe you guys are going to get another video after that. But yeah, that's really all I've got going on right now. If you stuck with me this long, I appreciate you for sticking through to the end of the video. If you still subscribe to me, definitely appreciate it, because I'm not going to be that guy who's going to tell you, like, comment, and subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe. I hate that. I absolutely hate that when YouTubers ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, anybody who's on YouTube knows, like, that's something that you can do. Everybody knows that you can like or comment or subscribe. So I'm never going to ask you to do that. But it is cool when I see people who do want to do that, but I'm never going to ask you to do it. So again, shout out to all of y'all who stayed to the end of the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.